No, that's not right. Okay. Oh, no. Yeah. Okay, good. We're live. We are live
Okay.
everywhere except Instagram. That, for whatever reason, is taking a minute. Okay, there we go. Sweet. Okay. So, welcome to another Run Wild with us. You know what? Ask us anything. I'm Lisa Kastner. I'm the founder and executive editor of Running Wild, which now consists of Running Wild Rise, Trump Lowell, and Junkyard Rooster imprints. And we are here with you on Thursdays from 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific time, 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern time. So you can ask us whatever the hell you want. Let me change this too. Sorry, it's got the wrong banner up. There it is. Perfect. That's the right banner. So, yeah. So if you're watching this, and it is the recording, because we do record this live stream that is across YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. I don't even know. Blah, blah, blah. But if you're watching it and it's the recording, still go ahead and put your questions into the chat. And the reason I say that is because we always go back and we always check for questions. And because we want to make sure that we are providing a service to you and we're fulfilling that service. So with that, we actually just had a really great, and we're going to actually continue having these. We're going to be having team meetings with all the editors to talk about like the different projects that we're all working on, see how we can help each other out, that kind of thing. And one thing, okay, actually, a couple great questions came up during the session. The first question that I remember, and Cecilia, if there's anything I forget, please, bring it forward. But one of the great questions that we got was around how do you make your decisions of what you're going to acquire? And Cecilia has been part of our acquisition team. So I don't know, Cecilia, if you want to give that breakdown, and then I'll jump in if at all needed.
No, that's fine. No, well, authors will send us a whole package of things. So they'll have like a summary of their story and a little bit about their background. And many times I'll read the summary and the log line, and it sounds great. And I'm like, I'm in. I can't wait to read this. And then if the first few pages are backstory and description or just a lot of dialogue without any sense of where we are, what we're doing, then it might take a little bit longer for us to make a decision, or it just might not quite fit the description that we think that we read. So for me, I really do need for those first few lines and those first few pages to really jump off the page. For me, I like them to have action. I like them to have vivid description. I want a sense of the conflict probably a little bit right away. And a sense of, a character or two. I realize others will be introduced later on. But we get hundreds of submissions. We get assignments in chunks of 100 or more. And so we are spending time going through those submissions and going through those blurbs carefully. But we are choosing samples many times from the manuscript. And we do prefer to have the whole manuscript so that we can read through and select what we need to see. Do we have a whole cohesive picture? Do we have enough information to be able to work with this author? And do we like it? It is to some degree a subjective decision.
Wow, that's great. And one thing that came up, I'd say quite a bit during our call was, I think the biggest mistake, and this actually came up at some writers, it's a common question that we get even at like writers conferences or when I'm invited to talk for panels or what have you, is like, what's the biggest mistakes that you may see, right? Or what's our expectations? And it's interesting because it's surprising the number of people who submit work that either A, it has nothing to do with any of our imprints, right? And all of our imprints very clearly have a mission, a vision, very, very clearly state what they're looking for. So that's one. And two is the number of people who will submit something that completely ignores all standard formatting. I am shocked at the number of individuals who do that, right? Standard formatting is double spaced. Usually it's Times New Roman, 10 or 12 font, and 10 or 12 point size. And you have your name, typically your address and or email on the cover. And, you have a cover page. And then you'll have the pages numbered. So the number of people who do things like put a copyright on it. Well, I can tell you a significant number of publishers, if you do not follow standards, and if you the second they see that you put a copyright on it, they will actually immediately reject it, right? And I'll be honest, for years I didn't, right? For years I would actually read the work even though it wasn't formatted properly, and I would, even though it was copywritten, because I would reach out to the author and ask, would you be willing to revise this, right? Because a lot of times too, if an author does that, if they put a copyright on it, it means they're not willing to do revisions to the work. So if they come back and say, oh yeah, they'd be happy to, then that's fine, because in reality, that the copyright, it would change, the work would most likely change significantly enough that the copyright would not be appropriate anyway, right? And they're going to sign a contract anyway saying that they're willing to, revise. But to Cecilia's point, we have gotten to the point where we're getting so many submissions that our last submission period, we had, I think it was 334 titles that we all said were solid and that we should consider acquiring. And so we had to, honestly, you just start coming up with reasons. So why should we not publish this, right? And I know that sounds awful, but it's true, and you just get to that point because you have to. So like if an author says in their submission, I've always wanted to be a writer, I only ever wanted to be a writer, I refuse to be on social media, I refuse to do any kind of book reading, blah blah blah, because that's not what I do, you've just created excuses for us to turn you down. Because that also implies that if you're not willing to back your own work, if you're not willing to present yourself, because in today's society, the truth is people aren't just buying your book, they're buying you as a brand. And so you need to keep that in mind, and you need to be willing to do that. And I'm not even talking about major stuff. It could be something as simple as you have a website, the website has your book on it, and you're willing to go and do like readings at your local library, right? But if you come right out from the very beginning saying you don't do that, you've just created an excuse for us to say no. I don't know, Peter, what do you think?
I think we're getting to the point, like you said, that we're getting so many submissions that we have to look for reasons to reject, just on a basis of sanity, because we don't have the resources to commit to that. And as we all know, in the editing these books in our spare time takes a long time, and authors get frustrated. I understand from the author's point of view, they want to get published and they want to work with you, but they don't always know the rules. And my first question is, do people who copyright their work really know what they're doing? Or are they just putting that C on there and saying, hey, it's copyrighted,
That actually, it's usually that, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still a small press. smallish. We're getting larger, which is good. I mean, number of submissions says volumes about us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if we're fielding 334 submissions that are quality, I mean, we gotta find stricter standards to find ways to cut them. I mean, even if it's just they didn't respond to an email for 2 weeks, if they give any indication that they're going to be difficult to work with, that kind of thing. It's like we've got to have not rigid but guidelines in place to say that this has to be a fit for both of us. And if it's not for any reason, we got to move on because there's another author who's just as good, if not better than you are, who's in a slush pile.
Another thing that I'm noticing is that the pitch is really good. I get really great pitches from authors. They know how to pitch. It is great. And then I get the story, and sometimes, often, it falls short. And so I'm thinking, if you're going to spend that much time on the pitch and getting it right, spend that much time on the first 5 pages, because that's what we're going to see first. And we want to see that same kind of energy right away that you put into your pitch in those first few pages. And many times I'm like, okay, where is it? Where's it happening? I've got through the first few pages and it's not picking up. It's not picking up. I mean, I really want it to, because that pitch is so good, but I'm just not seeing it here. So I guess that would be my advice for people handing things in, to give it those first 5 pages the same energy as you do your pitch.
Well, and do that little bit of homework. There are so many presses out there nowadays, small, mid-size, all the major publishers, the big 4, they are all constantly acquiring small and mid-sized presses, right? Or creating new actually usually they're buying the imprints, but anyway, but do your homework and actually look at what is that they're actually looking to acquire. And the reason I say that is that's another one that sometimes it's surprising the number of submissions we'll get that they'll say this is hardcore science fiction, and we very openly state, like, this is cross genre, right? Or this is a hardcore romance. Again, we very openly state, like, all of our imprints are actually some have some kind of literary bend to it, right? And again, we're not all cross genre, but a few of them do lean more so into the cross genre spaces. So and I know that's true for a lot of publishers, right? When they are going through the submissions and they're finding that there's just like a big number that have nothing to do with what they do. So don't set yourself up to be disappointed. Again, you're giving them an excuse not to review your work. You're giving them an excuse not to publish it by simply not doing those simple steps of going to their website and seeing what exactly do they actually print and what are their requirements for a submission.
Adjust your expectations too. I mean, yes, okay, you finished your book. Okay, you finished draft 5 of your book. Okay, that's great. Is it ready for a publisher? Probably not. Give it another polish. Is it ready now? Give it another polish. Show it to friends. Show it to colleagues. Show it to published authors if you know any. Show it to anybody you can and get as much feedback as you can and polish it again. And when you know it's as good as it can possibly be from your hands and your imagination, that's when you submit. Because to Cecilia's point, if you're going to spend that much time on the synopsis, on the pitch, you got to spend that much time exponentially on the novel itself, on the work itself, because they both have to be spectacular to catch the eye of an editor or a publisher. I mean, the competition out there is fierce. And I know a lot more now than when I first started out back in Chicago 15 years ago, 18 years ago. Which is like, I can say this now, but back then I didn't know. So that's why these type of forums are so valuable to writers, because there are a lot of steps you need to take to get to the point where your work is publishable. And take the time, do the work, do the legwork, and polish, because it can always be a little bit better.
And that's everyone. That's
and
totally
then when an editor makes suggestions, accept them,
Yeah.
listen to them.
well,
Stop
yeah,
giving us the ego. So
that's
I'm done.
that's another big one that always comes up is, around like what kind of suggestions do you provide, that kind of thing. And at least for me, like if I start editing a work and I'm seeing thematically that there are areas that I don't understand what the author's doing, and I think they're trying to do something that I can probably help them be successful at doing it, but right now it's not quite happening, I'll set up a call and I'll ask, hey, can you talk me through what we want to do here? Like, what is it? What's your vision for this overall piece? And then I'll give guidance in terms of different things that they could do to support what they're trying to do. And I'll be honest, I won't even look at it until they're done that first pass of the overarching changes that I recommend. But to Peter's point, it's also surprising the number of people who submit something and you give them some suggestions and they just simply don't consider them. And I've literally had people email me and say, I'm over 80 years old. I don't have time to make revisions. And I'm like, well, then why did you even, why you could have self-published this on Amazon. Like, go do that. I don't care. There's no, if your goal is more so you want to have this published and out in the world before you're 81 or whatever your next birthday is, then you probably should not have submitted to a publisher that's with a major distributor, because it's going to take, usually it takes 18 to 24 months minimally for it to get to market. And that's it. I'm including the editing process in that as well. So, and we've actually even had, and we were talking about this last time, we had one book, it took 2 years to edit.
Yeah.
And that, by the way, that wasn't the editor's choice. He was getting very frustrated. It was the author just kept coming back with more and more ideas of how he wanted to improve upon the overarching story, because he was in the midst of writing the follow-up book to it and kept finding more opportunity. Yeah, exactly. And kept finding more opportunities associated with that. So again, just keep these things in mind. I actually teach at conferences a lot, and I lately I've been asked quite a few times to speak on, and it always ends up being far too little time, but what are the different opportunities that an author has to be published? And my bottom line is figure out what you want to accomplish first, right? Is this something that you just want to have, you want to print for your family? That's awesome. There are great areas that you can do that. Do you want to be a mainstream author? Then you find places that have open calls and submit to those open calls. And that way you have a higher likelihood of it actually getting published, right? Because you're meeting a demand that's out there. If you have a vision for some kind of new type of story or what have you, then go play, have a blast, right? And then you just figure out when you're done, what's the right market, right? Is the market that you need an agent and you have to, you can't submit to the publishers that you want without one? Is it that you would actually probably be happiest with a small press? Like, whatever it is, figure that out. And you will reduce your stress so significantly.
And ours.
Right? Because you actually know what it is that you want. And you will have done the homework, and you will have come into getting right into that writing, that project, with knowing exactly what you want the outcome to be and where you want it to land. It will make your life so much simpler. It will clean up for you, how to exactly, how to get your stuff out there and wherever you want it. I was gonna we've actually had a few authors who've come to us who are very well established, and but they came to us with their pet projects.
Yeah.
Because they knew that they wanted to work with editors who would be have buy-in for their work, and who would give feedback more so based on the vision that they have for the work. They wanted to work with a group that felt more like family.
Mhm.
And and so they didn't want to go to their major house, because they knew if they went to the major house, it's a churnout, right? It would get knocked out, and that would be it. And there wouldn't be a personalization. It wouldn't be something where they would stay involved necessarily once the book is published. So again, these are all things that you want to take into consideration when you're out there and you're working your little associate off. Rodney Hatfield asks, can I ask if you accept bribes in the form of coffee, dark humor, and eternal gratitude? I'm going to defer to Cecilia and Peter. You guys get to answer.
Well, I do look in the in the package that they send for words like, I'm willing to work with editors, those kinds of things. I mean, not necessarily, this is my Venmo account, send me things. But just, I do look for people who say things like, I'm willing to work with an editor on, like, this is the best that I've got it, and I love this manuscript, but I'm also open to revisions. So I do look for those in cover letters and whatnot as well. So no bribes or coffee, but dark humor's fun. I like that. But like, showing a willingness to work with editors, I think that's something that I do look for in a cover letter.
I echo Cecilia in terms of, I would accept a nice bottle of vodka. That would work for me.
There are lots of things we would accept, but
yeah, I'm down with limited gin, Grey 10.
The willingness to accept input and to answer questions and respond to comments, truthfully, and to be true to not to yourself. I mean, one of my biggest issues is authors, they write a book and then they hold it like this and say, this is me, this is who I am. I can't change this because it's perfect the way it is because it's me. It's like, no, you take that book, you set it on the table in front of you and say, that's a book. This is me, that's a book. We're going to work on the book. We're not going to offend anything that you are doing. It's all about the book. And I'm not making suggestions to tear the book down. I'm not making suggestions to say this book is terrible. I'm making suggestions because this is good and I want to make it shine. Mm-hmm. I want to make it better. That's all I'm doing. There is absolutely no ego in this for me whatsoever. I am all about the writing. I'm all about the author. And my name is one little 10 characters, whatever it is, on one small page, takes up no print. Nobody recognizes it. Nobody sees it. They see the author and the author's words. And I want to make the author's words as best as I possibly can because that's my job. That makes the author look good. That makes the press look good. That sells books. And that's why I do it. I'm not here to argue with anybody. If you want to argue, if you want to refuse everything I say, refuse everything I say. Then what in the heck are you doing here? I mean, you can just self-publish this on Amazon, like Lisa said. If you don't want input, if you don't want any advice on how to make this even better than it already is, then seriously, go do your own thing. Don't waste our time. Don't waste your time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a
nice bottle of vodka wouldn't change that.
So. I think to both Cecilia and Peter's points. So Rodney, honestly, for us, like the bribes are more like when you submitted it. Did you have someone read it for you and give you feedback? Right? Are you submitting? Did you do your homework? Right? So that you knew that this is a publisher who would most likely be interested in publishing your work? Did you I even do this for my day job, right? Where when I am in a meeting or I'm reviewing something and someone's being uh confrontational, well, I'll just leave it that way. I intentionally will go on mute and I will intentionally not say anything for however long it takes for me to figure out how do I position what it is that I need to say in a way that's productive.
Mhm.
And I'm serious, right?
Hey, how can I take him out at the knees and look good doing it?
Well, and so that he doesn't feel like I just took him out at the knees, right? Like, and a lot of times, especially when it's in a function of editing, the feedback I want to give, I want to give it to make it better, right? To make whatever it is that you've brought forward just that much more engaging and that much more where readers are just like, oh my God, this is fabulous, right? I'm not doing it to make myself look good. No one gives a shit. I mean, in reality, like no one cares it's changed that. It's very rare that anybody actually pays attention to who the editors are, right? And I know that for a fact because every time I go to the authors who we acquire and I say, is there a specific editor that you want to work with who's in our stable, and or is there a book that you really admire in our catalog and you would like to work with that editor? I want to say about 60 to 70% of the time they have no idea. Now, that has changed actually a lot. I want to say in the last year, more and more people are actually going back to our catalog and they can actually reference some of the titles in the catalog that they really enjoyed. And they would love to work with those specific editors. And we're also getting a lot more people who are coming to us because they have friends who are editors with us and they want to work with that friend. Mm-hmm. But again, we've got plenty of people that when they submit, it really is being a nice person is a huge form of amazing bribery that we all thoroughly enjoy. And working in a collaborative manner is another huge bribe that we all, I'd say, are totally down with. So.
And it's not that I want somebody to just automatically take every suggestion I give. I do want some pushback because that's when the magic happens, right? That's when people start to, like, I give an idea and they're like, but I thought of this one. And I'm like, that's really good too. So that's where the magic happens, where you come up with all kinds of things that you didn't think that you'd have before that fit. Mm-hmm. But if I brought it up several times and I've said, please don't do this, because it just means I don't want you to go out in the world with toilet paper on the back of your shoe. I mean, we're trying to prevent you from doing these things. We're trying to help you. If I brought it up several times, the same thing throughout your manuscript, it might be a problem. So, yeah.
Oh my God, I love that so much.
We're trying. We don't want you to go out with the toilet paper on the back of the shoe or wherever, we don't want that for you. But I understand. I mean, there are sometimes suggestions that I'll make that they'll be like, or I misinterpreted something, because that happens too. And they're like, oh, that's not what I meant there, but it may just need a clarification or something. So yeah. You don't have to take every suggestion that we make, but if we keep coming back to it, it might be one that you have to look into.
That's true. I'm sorry, Peter, you were going to say something?
I think I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, no. One of the reasons why when I take on authors, you mentioned that authors do look at our backlog, look at our catalog, is when I get an author, when I agree to edit a book, I do not look them up. I do not do any research on them. They could be a college professor. Some of them are. Some of them are college English professors. These are people who know what they're doing. I do not want to know who they are, other than their name, and that's it. And they can spell certain words correctly. Other than that, I don't want anyone, because I don't want any sort of ego on their part, because it's even to even, it's equal to equal. So you're the author, I'm the editor. I don't care if you're already won a Pulitzer Prize. I'm looking at this book now, and that's how I look at it. It's a one thing kind of thing. I don't look at any sort of history on them, because, like I said, there's no ego in it involved for you whatsoever. So I don't want any ego involved for you. And if you're going to come back with, well, I know better, well, then if you know better, then you don't need me. And that's fine. I can walk away from this over. I got 15 other authors I could work with tomorrow. So that's just my 2 cents. It's just, when people say, well, this is my book, I know better. Yeah, you do. But I also know how to edit, and I know how to make your book better than you've already made it. So are we going to work together on this, or is this a you only show? And if it's a you only show, self-publish, because we're not going to publish something that isn't up to our standards. It's just not fair to our other authors. It's not fair to the publication. It's not fair to the press. So.
And honestly, a lot of times now, when we have our sessions, our acquisition sessions, we basically go around the table to see who would be interested in editing it. And if no one if we're all like, well, it's pretty good, but I don't know that I have the energy to be the editor or whatever. Sometimes that ends up being the reason, because how we pick editors is honestly, our editors typically let me know when they have availability, and I'll send them links, or I'll send them the manuscripts that are currently available, open for they need an editor, and then they pick based on what they're passionate about. And to me, that's important. I want to make sure that our editors whoever's working on it is impassioned, is excited to work on this piece. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they read it and said, oh, it's perfect, I'm not going to have to do anything, right? It typically means there's something in the narrative or something about the characters that they went, ooh, this is fun. Okay, I'm down. Like, I'll do this, So with that in context, that means that the editor that you're getting and that you're working with, they want to be there. Like, they chose to be there. They're not there because they're like, look, I'm going to be a billionaire. They're, based on this, they're there because they were like, dude, this is fun. I want to be a part of this. I want to help make this better, So, really keep that in mind, when we're picking you because a whole group of us went, this is freaking rocking. And a group of us said, and the person that you're working with, they want to be there to work with you specifically, And so when they're giving you suggestions, to both Cecilia and Peter's point, it looks like Peter has is having connection issues. That feedback they're giving it because, man, when they read it, they went, dude, this could be magic. Here are these different ideas, like, and to Cecilia's point, sometimes the idea or the suggestion, what you come back with, it's not necessary. It doesn't have to be exactly what they're suggesting, but at least as far as I'm aware, our editors will come back with this. You please do this, and this is why, or they'll give you the why, right? And then if you come back with some other way of doing it that is even more killer, rock on, like, go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. And going back to your point about what we pick and what we choose, it can be all over the place. Like, for me, I typically gravitate towards something that has a supernatural element or a speculative element or some form of sci-fi or horror. But then all of a sudden there is a memoir about, this guy who rides his bike from California to Seattle. And I was like, I love this story. Like, there are no ghosts in it. I mean, there might be, maybe, but there are no ghosts in it. Nothing like that at all. Nothing speculative, but it's just a really well-paced memoir and story. And it's very hippy dippy. And I just love it. I absolutely love it. I have like 4 manuscripts I'm working on right now. I've got several more lined up through January, but I'm trying to get through a first read of them, as many as I can. And I just finished his and I was like, this is so different from what I normally pick. And it just surprises you what you think you're going to pick and then what you actually end up with. Because, you just kind of find something that you're like, it is kind of, I'm in the mood for this now, right? Like I need a break from these and I just need this in my life right now. So yeah, it is very, I guess I have an eclectic group of manuscripts that I'm working on.
I honestly, I want to say I'm always working on some kind of wide variety of manuscripts. And unfortunately, it also means I can oftentimes get end up with a huge backlog. Like right now, I'm working on 2 novella anthologies that I acquired far too many novellas, to be honest. Right, some of them are pretty close to polish, others need some massaging. So it's taken me like I want to say almost a year to actually go edit them all. And then I have, a memoir that's ending up taking probably close to a year, but it's because the author just keeps coming back with a variety of revisions. And
sorry, I can't turn it off.
No, you're fine. It's okay. And I have some others that the author's insistent that I'm the editor, which I'm fine about, but I always give them the caveat up front. I already have, like, I still have like 2 novels to write. I'm in the middle of writing a novel. I'm in the middle of I have to finish writing a short story. I have another more almost novella length piece that I'm supposed to be writing right now. I have, and these are all things that I've ended up putting on the side because I want to complete these other ones that are in play,
I'm so sorry. I'm going to take my phone out.
Okay. Aww. So for anyone who's watching, I put the link to our submittable page on the actual, in the chat. So if anyone, you're always welcome to submit your work to us, like absolutely. But also just be aware that we usually only do an acquisition session, I want to say twice a year, something like that, in part because we do get so many submissions. But we also, like I said, for everything except for some of the anthologies, for all the imprints themselves, they're open 24/7. They're open 365 days a year. So you're always, always, always welcome to submit. Again, just please read up on the mission and vision on each one of the imprints so that you're not inadvertently disappointed just because you send something that just simply doesn't really fall within the category of that imprint. So, and we've got Peter back. Yay!
I was just chuckling at Rodney's comment. The unopened bottle of black.
I saw that.
Yeah. So Rodney followed up with, well, I have a pound of ground of Starbucks French press, French vanilla coffee, a dirty joke, and an unopened bottle of Walker Black Label. So who wants to publish one of my novels? To which I said, dude, hey, you can always send it in. I mean,
yeah.
It's fine. And then you know, maybe you want to have a follow-up session with the once you're acquired, you know, have a sit down kickoff with your editor, someplace where you guys can either, you know, get your coffee on, or maybe you get some, you know, whiskey on. It's up to you. It'll be up to you and your editor. So whatever makes you happiest. Wow, we only have like less than 20 minutes left.
Mhm.
I don't know, Peter, Cecilia, is there anything, any other topics that's come up in the last week that you're like, you think might be valuable?
I have one. Cecilia, do you?
I was going to revisit a topic that I think Ben brought up, but there are a couple of meetings that I did miss. So I don't know if you discussed it or not. The use of you in that in a work using the second
Always discuss
person.
that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's do it. So,
Okay.
so go ahead.
Okay. Well, I've seen a lot of it, and like when I first started writing fiction and marketing, like copywriting, marketing, advertising, I really had a huge aversion to you. Like I didn't want to use it because it felt like you're pointing at someone. You're
Mhm.
pointing at your audience. But I'm seeing it in flash fiction and in full length novels, and I've been using it myself. And I did publish something that uses that you. There's a literary magazine called Expat Press, and they do just non-traditional formats. And so this is a flash in, I don't even know what you call this, but it's called What You Need to Know When the HOA Replaces Susan with a Slushy Machine. And so that you is a kind of like, if you know kind of feeling. You bring your audience closer. Now, I don't know if I actually, achieved the best form of you with that, but I've been seeing a lot of that in flash fiction. And I've been seeing that you come through in full length novels and fiction as well. And if it's executed well, it's very good. Now, if it keeps switching perspectives to we or I, then it's just confusing. But I think anything that's consistent and done with intention for a specific purpose, it works. But you have to be consistent and you have to have a reason for it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. If you keep the point of view perspective solid, and you know what you're doing, and you're doing it on purpose, it's not a lazy sort of laugh. Well, I was talking. This is what I want you to know. It's like, okay, that's a one-off. It breaks the fourth wall. First of all, it throws the reader out of the story. And like I tell my authors, if you throw the reader out of the story for a second, you've lost them because they got to work to get back into the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I am not a fan of you. And my first question that came to mind is: this a Gen Z thing? Is this the new next generation of authors coming up saying we're writing their own rules, which they should? And is this their form of this is just how we talk? This is how we talk. This is how we write.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the case, and to your point, if they do it correctly, or not correctly is the wrong word, but they do it definitively and with command of the pronoun, let's call it, then and it works and it doesn't distract, I'm all for it. Go for it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a one-off here and there. That's just lazy writing.
Yeah. And sometimes it's a message as well, like it's a letter to somebody as well as how it's meant sometimes. So it just it depends on the format.
But if it's in the narrative, if it's in the narrative and it's not in dialogue, then you're talking to the reader.
Right.
And don't talk to me. Tell me a story. Right. Don't talk to me.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually, it's interesting. I've found an increase in the worst, fabulous in the use of the word you. And again, it seems to keep occurring in sections. So it's like a fragment of the piece will be like one or two sentences will be, you did blah, blah, blah. Right. But, and to both Cecilia and Peter's points, it takes you out of the story. It feels very finger pointy, but if it's done effectively, it can be very engaging, but you really have to do it with intention.
Mhm.
And you really have to do it knowing what your purpose is to use the first person. Typically, it does not work well in longer form. Usually, it does.
It's hard to sustain.
It's
Yeah.
exactly. It's very difficult to sustain. But usually, if it's something under, I want to say like 1,500 words, and again, it's done with intention. It's done with some purpose, and it's consistent. It can be very effective.
Something I just thought of is that if the writer does use you, and then a pages in, a couple chapters in, they identify the you to whom they're speaking,
Mm.
to whom they're referring, and then we know that it's not us, it's that person right there, and this is a confessional or whatever to that character, so it remains retained within the story.
Right.
That works beautifully.
Yeah. Yeah.
Agreed.
If they do it right with purpose, exactly.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah. I was going to go there too. Yeah. If you early enough in, you at least minimally imply who the you is. And then that way it provides that context of why is this narrative being told? Why am I being told this story? And why am I engaged in it? Then it's like oh, okay. Well, let me stay here. Let me see this unfold in that first person, and I get a better understanding of what the relationship is between the author and or whoever the narrator is and the individual that they're telling the story to, or of. I guess of. Yeah.
Of course, okay. One of my favorite stories, I did this as a dramatic reading in college, was The Telltale Heart.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
filled with you. It's filled
Yeah.
with you. And
Yeah.
he's meant to be talking to the reader
Yeah.
because
Agreed.
it's his confession. Yeah.
Now I'm looking it up to see if I can find it. Because if we can give a sample of it.
Oh, it's at the very beginning. True, nervous, very, very dreadfully nervous. I had been an M. But why will you say that I am mad?
Mhm.
Disease had sharpened my sense, not destroyed, not dulled them. So how calmly I can tell you the whole story. Like, so it's all about talking to the reader.
Mhm.
And it's
And in that
actually
case, it's done deftly,
Yeah.
purposefully, and well.
yeah.
Of course,
Mhm.
because it's Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah.
Well, and it turns out Poe's Museum actually has it online. Oh,
You know.
perfect timing, Peter, because tomorrow's Halloween.
I
So
know. I'm so excited. Alex is going to have friends over, and he usually plays his guitar outside, his electric guitar. And the kids come over, and we give treats out. So, yeah, I'll be pretty busy tomorrow, getting everything in order and making food for his friends and for us. Forget about his friends; it's for us.
heck yeah. Peter, what are you going to
The
be?
bite-sized Snicker bars are in the martini. They're not for the kids.
What am I
my
going to be? I'll probably just do this. This is it. A hat. I mean, like this is going to be it. So
That's it.
I
Okay.
have
It
a
matches.
you I have a whole wardrobe of t-shirts that are like horror themed because it's Halloween year round.
Are you in a kid-friendly neighborhood?
I'm sorry.
Are you in a kid-friendly neighborhood? A lot of kids?
We are. We have there are tons of kids. Yeah, lots. So, yeah. They usually don't make it to our house there because there are lots of houses at the beginning of the neighborhood, and we're kind of back a little bit further. So it takes them a while to get back there. But I guess that's why Alex has his guitar and his amp. They'll find us.
Oh my gosh.
Piper, right?
Yeah.
Peter, how about you? What do you guys do anything for Halloween?
We don't live in a very kid-friendly neighborhood. We don't have kids.
Mm.
So unless a couple older people come by, stumbling by, ringing the doorbell, playing Ding Dong Ditch, and tripping over themselves because they're too drunk to run away, it's going to be a quiet night.
Oh my. I live literally across the street from an elementary and middle school. And so like there's a period after school where it's almost like the kids go and do like a cycle with their parents, usually between like 4 and 5 or 4 and 6 or something like that. But this year, I actually got tickets to see Night of the Living Dead at the Ford Theater, which is an outdoor theater where you can either bring your own picnic or you can get like these gourmet meals from these different, like local restaurant vendors. And so I figured I would treat myself this year and actually go see Night of the Living Dead, which I don't know, I just thought that would be so fun. And
That movie is so funny.
so I put what I'll do, I'll just put out, I have a skeleton that every year we put out, and I just have this big bowl that I just dump a whole bunch of candy in, and I put the bowl in the skeleton's lap. So I have no doubt there will be no candy by the time I return home, but but they don't need me. They just need the skeleton there. So
That works.
yeah, totally.
I have a small confession to make. I did come across one of those bowls when I was trick or treating way back when, and there was no other kids around. And me, I was trick or treating with my next door neighbor. And we looked at each other like this whole big bowl of bubble gum.
Get
Like
it.
half of his bag, my bag, off 2 pieces, and took off. Nobody's gonna do that.
I got both the good candy and I got lollipops, but then I also got Kit Kat, Snickers. Excuse me, not the full size ones, the treat size ones.
Yeah.
So I have no doubt kids are gonna just like, their parents are gonna shove their hands in and like, yeah, I have no doubt that's gonna go down. Absolutely.
I love all the parents who come with their babies and they're really cute. I'm like, the parents want the candy, they want it. So
Yeah, that's what it's for.
I do. They deserve it. They've been up with a crying baby. So, yeah.
They earned it.
Yeah, they did. They totally did. And like the teenagers that come, I love it. I don't care. You can't be too. No. It's all right.
Trick or treat. They should be able to trick or treat. They're not gonna be kids
Yeah,
forever.
let them.
I mean, what the heck? It's just candy.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
And if they took the trouble to get dressed up too, that's pretty cool.
And guys, we're gonna have a benefit anthology of short stories to benefit Habitat for Humanity of Los Angeles, for those who've been impacted by the Los Angeles wildfires. So when I have a live link to it, I'll post it. I think we're also going to do it in audiobook as well. So that'll be a lot of fun. I have no idea why, but that popped in my head. So I just thought I'd put it out there. Diane Schneider says, "Happy Halloween. Have fun." Oh my God. Everybody watching, have a blast at Halloween. Please come on. It's on a Friday.
I know.
Like how fabulous is that?
It should be. Exactly.
As it should be.
It's supposed to rain pretty hard though, where we live. So sometimes that keeps people away, but oh well. Bring an umbrella.
Bring an umbrella.
Things you get wet.
Yeah. So because Peter, you're not in a kid-friendly area. I'm just looking at what the temperature is going to be tomorrow. So like, do adults, like, are there like adult parties that go down, or?
Actually, we're gonna go to a Halloween party tomorrow night. It's an adult party, so it starts at 6, which is silly to me, but there's always an after party. But yeah, we're gonna go dressed up as. It's not gonna be much of a stretch for me, but I'm gonna go as bikers. I got a cut-off t-shirt. I'm gonna wear my boots, my chaps, my jeans, a bandana, my mirrored shades.
I love
I've
it.
got some sleeves to wear. Kathy's gonna wear her chaps and her leather jacket and everything. So we're just going as bikers. It's like, oh, nice costume. No, this is how I wear when I ride across country. This is just what I wear. But yeah, okay, it's a costume.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Maybe I'll take a picture and share it.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
totally. You need to. You guys are going to look fabulous.
Yeah.
We our most favorite costume was when we went as Neo and Trinity to
Oh,
a costume party a long time ago with the full leather jackets, the full everything. Stephanie wore red with the black
wow.
hair. We look good.
Oh my God. You guys would look amazing as Neo and Trinity. They actually,
When you drunk it up tomorrow night, I'll send you a couple pictures.
okay, cool. I'm trying to see. There's actually like costumes you can buy of Neo and Trinity.
Oh, wow.
Everybody I
We
know,
made these ourselves.
I was gonna say that everyone I know who's been Neo and Trinity, they just use their own wardrobe. That's what I'm like, dude. It's an excuse to buy a full length black leather. Yeah, I'm on.
Best leather rubber thing kind of thing.
Right?
Pleather. Yeah.
Yeah, leather.
Walmart, but
I don't think I'm gonna go. I don't think I'm gonna do costume tomorrow. I think I'm just done because it looks like it's gonna be a high of 79. So maybe I'll do one of the. I have a bunch of onesies. Like one's a unicorn, one's a teddy bear, one's a skeleton. I think I have like Captain America woman. So maybe it may end up being an excuse for me to wear a onesie, but yeah. then that way I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to think about it. Yeah, no pressure. It's just like boom, look, I'm done.
Yep.
Okay, guys watching, you've got only have us for 2 more minutes tonight. 2. So if you've got a question other than Rodney, then pop it into the comment section of whatever venue you are watching us, and we will absolutely be sure to respond. And if you post it and it's not between 5 and 6 p.m. Pacific time, 8 and 9 p.m. Eastern time, it's all good. We'll address it. We'll get to it the next time we have another Run Wild with us and Ask Us Anything. Oh, that's the other big question I've gotten lately is how did we come up with the title Running Wild? And it's so simple. It's when we first came up with the publishing house, we were like, and people asked why are you doing it? It was like, well, I want to do whatever the fuck I want. Like I want to publish great stories that I know are fabulous stories and that don't fit neatly in a box. And so Running Wild just seemed like the natural title.
Yeah.
So that's literally that's how we came up with Running Wild. So I don't know. Well, Peter, do you want to talk about how you came up with Trump Loyal?
Trump Loy.
Excuse me.
Like Roy Rogers, Trump Loy.
Okay.
Back in the 90s, I was a member of a theater troupe called Chicago Actors Ensemble, and we built out a theater in Old Masonic Hall in a church on Lawrence Avenue in Chicago, obviously. And the roof had leaked, and the entire upper wall was destroyed, upper corner of the wall. It was like 50 feet in the air.
Wow.
It was just destroyed from water damage. So the artistic director, who was also the custodian of the building, the caretaker of the building, he had it repaired, and then he had it painted to look exactly like it was after the water damage. So that's trompe l'oeil painting. So there are people out there who paint the trompe l'oeil painters. They make something look exactly like it was before it was repaired, or they made it look like anything they want it to look like. Like the story goes, is that 2 artists were having an argument or a contest, or whatever, and they want to show who could paint the most realistic painting. Mm-hmm. And one of them painted a statue, and the first guy said, "Oh, that looks cool. Come check out mine. It's right behind the curtain right there." And the second painter walked up, put his hand on the curtain, and it was a painting, but it looked so real that he thought it was a curtain. Mm-hmm. So that's what trompe l'oeil painting is trompe l'oeil makes it's so real. It looks so real that you think it's real. So that's what I wanted the press to be. I wanted the writing to be so real, so vivid, so grab your attention that you forget you're reading a story, that you're actually in the story believing it and seeing it with all your senses without being distracted by the fact that you're reading a story is so real that you can't stop imagining and envisioning it. That kind of thing. So
Love
that's where the name came from.
Yay! And with that, we're done. Guys, don't forget to join us next time. As always, it is fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Love you. And please don't be shy to submit questions to us. We love answering your questions. So with that, have a fabulous holiday. Have a great Halloween and have an amazing week. Ciao.
Bye.